Hello and welcome to the Mandalorian Fan Podcast. This is episode 32, where we'll be recapping The Bad Batch, Season 1, Episode 10, Common Ground. I am Hank.
And I'm Alex.
And we are your award-winning TPE Network podcast hosts. And for all the cool shows we do, head to tpenetwork.com/follow. Well, let's get into it so you can start enjoying your weekend, Alex.
All right. Yeah, I got quite the weekend. So we're kind of recording a day earlier than we normally do because I got to be out on the road on Saturday morning.
As they used to say, on the road again.
That's right.
So I did that so good I could get a copyright strike. Yeah, kidding. Kidding. but
Nice.
This one is starting us out on Raxus. The Empire is not your enemy. When anybody ever tells you they're not your enemy, they probably are. And then they're trying to strong.
So people don't recognize the world Raxus. That's it was the separatist capital world. So again, this is a flashback from Clone Wars. So if you haven't seen the episodes of Clone Wars with Raxus in it, you don't necessarily have to watch them, but it might be maybe just a tiny bit helpful. So it's not necessary.
Okay. And the Empire is trying to strong arm Senator Avi Singh into complying. And he initially seems like he's going to do that. But then he's like, you know what? I can't go through with this. I have to do what's right for the people. That's what I was supposed to be able to do. And when he doesn't go through with it, the Empire brings in those big tanks. What are those called? Do you know offhand?
Yeah, hang on really quick. I have it on here.
Okay.
Again, this is like technology that was from the prequels, and if it was the trilogy, the original trilogy, boom, I'd be right there. They are ATTEs, all-terrain technical enforcers.
Oh, wow. I won't remember that, I'll be honest.
So at T, maybe?
Have a spot of at T?
That's at T.
So the senator... go ahead.
Speaking of the center, if I can interrupt just really quick, and then I won't interrupt. Well, I'm not going to make that promise, but I will try. So the senator is voiced by Alexander Siddig. So if that name kind of rings a bell to some of you, for the fans of Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, that is Dr. Bashir.
Nice.
Most recently, he played the part of Prince of Dorne in Game of Thrones, Doran Martell. And so that's how we're going to tie this into the Mandalorian, because we know that old Mando himself was a Martell as well.
Yes. So. And I'm sure if you're on YouTube, you can appreciate with Teacher Roots giving you a gold star for that awesome information. Oh, I love it. So the senator has already told his droid GS8 to follow a specific plan if something should happen to him. So the droid calls some yet unknown individual. And I was thinking to myself, who would they call? The rebellion? I'll be honest, I was kind of clueless that we're going to call Sid, but we'll get to that in just a minute. The Mantell mix is yummy, but the Bad Batch, they want to keep a low profile. And that's when Sid says that she's got an extraction mission for them on Raxus. So they called Sid. So I thought Sid mostly dealt with like seedy underworld stuff, but apparently has some up and up contacts as well.
So evidently she's like doing stuff for the rebellion as well. That's what this is going to be for. That's my speculation anyway.
I like it. She wants them to leave Omega because Hunter is not comfortable taking the kid with him. And she calls him Bandana, which I thought was hilarious. I still like John Rambo better, but
Yeah,
and
I prefer to call him Rambo, but they probably don't know who the hell John Rambo is in that universe. So
and no. And when Hunter breaks it to Omega that she doesn't get to go on a mission, but then Sid breaks it to her that she's in fact going to go on a cleaning mission. Oh man, I felt bad for the little character because I was like, that is such a bummer when you get left out of something when you were a kid. Everybody can relate to that.
yeah, but as we're gonna find out, she's gonna more than make up for that.
The Bad Batch discuss helping a separatist. They meet GS8 and they aren't happy they're working for a droid, apparently. And what did you think about when they had so much conflict over them being separatists?
Well, sure, there was a lot of conflict because that's who they were fighting against in the Clone Wars.
Okay.
So
So years of
now
that.
yeah, so now your allies are suddenly your former enemies. That would be a little uncomfortable.
Okay. It seemed like Hunter overall had the biggest problem with it out of the group. And,
Well, yeah, he's very justified in feeling that way.
Okay. And then Sid gives Omega a pep talk, which I don't think was very good because she calls her helpless. And I thought that was, just kind of a negative statement to make to a kid,
And then the kid proves her wrong. And again, I'm moving ahead, so let me just stall right now.
Our team thinks GS8 is setting them up, so they still have no confidence in this situation.
Yeah, but if you look at GS8, almost reminds me of what one of the action figures I had as a kid that that we see later on, known as the Death Star droid, and these are protocol droids. And it reminds me of those kind of. It reminds me more of a protocol droid than it would be any type of battle droid or anything like that the Separatists had.
Very cool. Good call out.
But if you can recall from episode 1, the Separatists also had like a C-3PO type protocol droids at the very first scene. So, they even though this is basically a droid battle, I'm sure they have, droids like that as well.
Okay. So they come prepared as well. I am going to bring that up. I'm going to bring it up on screen. So like this?
Yep.
Awesome. That looks pretty cool. It does look just like them too.
Yep. That looks very similar. Yeah. And that looks like, is that the Black Series? Oh, that's a vintage collection. So that's going to be the 3.5-inch figure. So that's the type of figures our brother Dave collects. So
nice. Mister from another sister.
Yeah.
All right. Let's move forward, and they use GS8 to trap 2 troopers. That was great. Like, you can't be here. This is a restricted area. And they're like, yeah, come around this corner.
That was pretty good improv on the droid's part, for sure.
He didn't do too bad. And I felt like he got what was going on because late in the next scene, he's like, I'll just take the initiative, and he just rolls that detonator out towards those guys or whatever it was, like a stun grenade. And then he catches that vase, and he's like, oh, this vase is very expensive. I was like, he was pretty fun. I kind of love him already. He kind of grew on me. Omega is an expert at a strategy game that Sid is playing, and then Sid wants to, of course, use her skill to make money. She's like, how about 30%? And Omega's like, how about 60? I was like, oh, I love this kid. This kid's awesome. Do you think this is the secret that we've been waiting for? Maybe has some sort of strategy, DNA input?
No, I think it's a type of intuition she has. And again, in this episode we see what is a little tease. Last episode, if you guys can recall, I did say that, you know what, there's a little bit more to Omega than just the DNA part. And you know what, again, I think the big prediction is possible force like powers, and you know, you have to have those kind of reflexes and strategies to play like that. So
Oh, if this ends up being true, we'll
there we go. Yeah,
dole out more stars.
It's just possible that, you know, that, and that, you know, that's kind of like the rumor that I have anyway. Is it possible she has force powers? It's very possible. Does she definitely? It's too early to say.
Okay. I'm telling you, I love going down this trail because this is the trail to goodness. The senator is about to be tortured, but just in time, he's freed by our band of heroes. Alarms are blaring, and the team takes over one of those tank vehicles that you stated earlier. I told you I wouldn't remember.
Yep. The all-terrain, the AT-T.
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 I love the senator when he was like, "You think I'm gonna do that?" He's not a zip liner, I guess. Yeah. And I couldn't tell by his figure. I was like, the big man don't want to go, man. So Wrecker, thankfully, just snatches him up, and we know Wrecker don't like heights, but he went through with it.
That's right. Yep.
And then the AT-T is immediately disabled, and they are able to battle back. But the Empire has reinforcements coming in, and Tech needs to be able to make some repairs. You know, I tell you what, Tech would be somebody that you'd want on your fave 5 friends list because he can do just about anything, any kind of repair there is.
Now, do you notice that our group in the Bad Batch, they're using complete, you know, stun weapons, and they're not, you know, they don't have theirs set to kill. They're just completely on stun. Where, you know, true. The other clone troopers are, you know, they got theirs to kill.
Yeah, good point. Because I noticed that every time they shoot, it's the ring, and they're like, bam, and it just takes them down for a while, which I think is cool. But maybe once those guys get back up later, they'll regret it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it ironic that troopers that can't hit much knock them out instantly, you know, knock their vehicle out. Now, the senator has a plan down a dead-end street or alley or whatever way, and he's got this idea to blast a hole through this wall because he knows it leads to an escape there. And I loved how that machine had the metal wall go behind the grenade, you know, the detonator, so it wouldn't blow up inside of their vehicle. I love that.
Right.
That little detail.
Right.
And Hunter using the old live to fight another day, that was cool too, because that's what they told him when he didn't want to leave Omega behind. And like, it's better to live another day. So he has that lesson learned. I like that they call back that on this series. Did you think it was going to be that easy for them to get off of this planet?
No, because it seemed like there was always some kind of obstacle. But, you know, if you were keeping track of time, we were at the 20-minute mark, and it's like, yeah, they got to wrap this up here pretty quick.
This don't look like a 2-parter.
Yeah.
Back at Sid's, Omega has gathered a huge following, and I call this guy not Thrawn. Did you know what?
Yeah. I think it was the same species.
Same
as
species,
Thrawn,
okay.
But
that's what I was hoping.
It's very similar, but now that I think of it, maybe not, because Thrawn's species has red eyes.
Yes, good point.
and so I don't quite think it is Thrawn's. It looks similar though with the blue. Probably the only major similarity is the blue skin.
Yeah, good point. So that guy loses, even though he's supposed to be real thoughtful, real smart and have a lot of skills, allegedly. And then now Omega has paid off the debt for the entire team. I was like, yeah. But Hunter was not happy with her. He was like, I said, keep a low profile. This is the opposite of keeping a low profile. And so the rest of the team is kind of angry with Hunter for his comments to Omega about not following orders. And then I thought was kind of cute was he's like, you know what? How about we play this strategy game you're so good at, and if you win, no more sitting out on missions. I thought that was really cool. What about you?
Yeah, I almost thought it was a little bit too convenient that she automatically, in a rapid pace, nonetheless, paid off the entire debt. But that's probably a good thing because that's a little plot point that we can be rid of and move forward.
Yeah. I like Sid and all, but it was getting a little tedious that she's doling out missions every week.
Yeah. So basically, the Bad Batch turned into, a bunch of bounty hunters.
Yeah.
And so that's how they're earning their keep. And so now, they paid their debt off, and hopefully they can start earning some big bucks, and then they don't need to be in Sid's employ all that much.
Right. I totally agree with you. That was the end of the episode. Where were you at on this episode? Did you have a strong feeling one way or the other?
I really didn't feel that. I almost want to call this a filler episode because the only thing I think it brought to us is Omega, and again, she's not just a clone that has the Jango Fett copy of the DNA. There's, like I said, there's more to her, and we saw that this episode. And other than that, there's really no point to this episode. So I would definitely give it a proficient 8 out of 10. It wasn't terrible. It just wasn't as good as the last few episodes.
I 100% agree. I was teetering on 7, but I said, you know what? I had a lot more fun
I was
7.
As well.
And I'm going to say 8 too.
Yeah.
Because it's just a little more fun than a 7. But
yeah,
you make great points as far as they didn't really do anything that really says the overarching story outside of Omega moves forward. Like I was kind of hoping that this was the one of the last push for them to side up with the rebellion and such.
Right.
But
and we've been the last few episodes we've been dealing with in the plot with them leaving on some type of a cliffhanger to be continue the next episode, and it seemed like the previous episode kind of finished that arc, and then I was hoping this one was going to start a new one, and it really didn't. It just was it was a standalone.
And being in that precarious episode 10, they're getting down to they probably have a run of episodes that are going to kind of link all together to finish the season out. And this wasn't one of them.
Right. No, this wasn't one of them. I totally agree with that. This is,
anything else before we wrap it up? We didn't, obviously we're recording so early, we didn't have time to get any feedback. But
no. Again, it's, Disney Plus has a lot of cool things on right now. So Loki was really interesting. So I know all of you tuned into that. So it was, I really love this episode. So I want everybody to have a fun and safe 4th. And I'm kind of hoping that it's as close to normal as possible. And I know things are opening up. So, but with that in mind, still be careful. So
Yeah. Yes.
have a good one, everybody.
Most certainly. I echo Alex's sentiments. Just be safe, driving, playing with fireworks and all that kind of stuff. If you're in the United States and you're celebrating the 4th of July, you need all them digits to type in tpenetwork.com.
Yeah.
So keep them. But we're going to leave it right there, and we'll catch you guys next week at our normal day and time. But
Same bat time,
you.
same bat channel.
I'm a billionaire bully. All right. For Alex, I'm Hank. Until the next time, we are signing off.
See ya.
TPE Network. There ain't nothing else like it.